For those entrusted with the responsibility of shaping and approving laws related to kratom, I ask for your attention, not as a matter of policy alone, but as a matter of human consequence. This is not abstract. It is deeply personal for many who rely on it. I am a recovering addict. My dependence began not in the shadows, but within the medical system. I have lived with ankylosing spondylitis since the age of 17, though it was not formally diagnosed until much later in life. For decades, the primary response to my condition was a steady escalation of prescribed pain medications. Painkillers became the routine, then the necessity, then the dependency. Circumstances interrupted that cycle. I was unable to access my medication, and through a friend I was introduced to kratom. What I experienced was unexpected. It provided relief, real relief, without the cognitive fog, without the nausea, without the heavy burden that had come with traditional opioids. For the first time in years, I could function clearly. That moment led me to research. What I found extends far beyond my own experience. A significant number of individuals, by my own encounters, many, use kratom as a means to distance themselves from far more dangerous substances. For some, it is a barrier between themselves and heroin, fentanyl, or alcohol. It is not viewed as an escape, but as a stabilizing alternative. There are those who argue that this is merely a substitution, one dependency for another. That perspective deserves consideration, but it also requires context. Kratom is botanically related to the coffee plant. While it interacts with opioid receptors, it is not an opiate. And although there can be withdrawal symptoms with sustained use, they are widely reported to be significantly less severe and less dangerous than withdrawal from traditional opioids or illicit substances. Many describe it as comparable to discontinuing caffeine after prolonged use. This distinction matters, because the consequences of criminalization are not theoretical, they are predictable. If access to kratom is removed, individuals who rely on it as a protective measure may return to the substances they work to leave behind. And when that happens, the risk is not inconvenience, it is fatality. Overdose deaths are not distant statistics, they are lived losses. They are people we have known. There is another critical point to consider. In reported cases where kratom has been associated with fatalities, investigations consistently reveal the presence of additional, more dangerous substances. There has not been a confirmed case of a kratom-only overdose resulting in death. One of the primary drivers of fatal overdose, respiratory depression, is not characteristic of kratom in the way it is with opioids. This does not mean kratom is without risk. It means the nature of that risk must be understood accurately before policy decisions are made. There is more to learn, much more, about its applications, its limitations, and its role in public health. But the urgency before you is immediate and clear. Decisions made without full consideration may cost lives. I ask that you examine the data. I ask that you seek out primary sources of research and advocacy, including the American Kratom Association. And most importantly, I ask that you weigh not only the intent of legislation, but its real-world impact on the people it will affect. Please consider your vote with that responsibility in mind. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
As many as 20 million people in our country rely on kratom for their daily health and well-being. Taking that option away would have real consequences, devastating and in some cases life-altering. The cost of that decision would be measured in human lives,